Hey there, small business owners. As your legal expert for creatives and entrepreneurs, I know that you're always on the lookout for ways to stay ahead of the curve and grow your business. And with the rise of artificial intelligence, it's becoming more and more tempting to use online tools and programs to generate content for your business and brand. But before you jump on the AI bandwagon, let's talk about the legal implications of it. Can you use AI content legally? Do you need a licensing agreement? Can you copyright AI-generated text and pictures? These are the burning legal questions we'll be tackling in this episode. So grab your coffee, put on your legal thinking cap, and join me as we dive into the complex world of AI and small business. And guess what, friends? I even generated this podcast episode intro with the assistance of an AI platform. Like, what? I had to disclaim that, but I also just wanted to let you know that it's so dang useful for everyday business use. Okay, enough chatter about my fascination with AI. Let's go. You're listening to the Legal Paige podcast, where we chat about life and business with a legal twist. I'm Paige, attorney and photographer helping online businesses and creatives tackle their business dreams without breaking out in hives. No more legal mumbo jumbo. This podcast features simple, bite-sized advice that'll have you legally legit in no time. Are you ready? Let's get started. As a reminder, before we get into this episode, I am legally obligated to give my disclaimer. I am an attorney, but I am not your attorney. All legal information I talk about in this episode is intended for the masses and a large variety of different businesses. Please seek out another attorney in your city and home state if you need specific legal advice related to your unique business. Okay, let's get back to it. As I mentioned in the intro, in this episode, we're going to be discussing the legalities of artificial intelligence, also known as AI, for small business owners. I'm going to be answering some of the most commonly asked questions surrounding the use of generative AI content and sharing some best practices to help you protect your business. So just sit back, relax, and get ready to learn everything you need to know about using AI for your small business. Let's get into the Q&A. First and foremost, what even is AI-generated content? So AI-generated content is content that is created using a machine that learns algorithms without any direct human input. AI is really awesome because it can generate text, images, videos, and crazily enough, even entire websites. So for small business owners, AI-generated content can be and is now becoming a game changer because it's saving time and resources for mainly solopreneurs or really, really small teams. Instead of spending hours creating and coming up with ideas for social media posts or blog content or podcast descriptions or titles, business owners can use AI tools and programs to generate that content quickly and efficiently. This even goes for graphics. It also goes for editing. There's so many AI platforms out there. And AI-generated content can also help businesses create actually more personalized content for their audience, which can lead to better engagement and conversions. AI is getting so smart and so sophisticated that it can go through your website, go through your brand voice on social media, and give you a response to something that is exactly how you would say it. However, obviously, it's important to be aware of the legal implications of using AI-generated content to avoid any legal issues down the road, which is the main purpose of this episode. And then I did want to say here, I'm recording this episode in March of 2023. AI is changing so rapidly on the daily. The legal world is not going to catch up with it. I can guarantee that. The Copyright Office is working hard to figure out what's happening with AI right now, and they launched an initiative last week about the ownership and how to submit a legitimate copyright application to register a copyrighted work that includes AI-generated content. But The legal world as a whole is going to have to move very, very quickly, and it's going to be behind the times when it starts trying to regulate and put out information or laws surrounding AI-generated content. So just bear with me because this episode is at status quo, like what's happening right now in the legal world and how does that pertain to the small business world regarding AI-generated content. I promise to keep you apprised of anything that it comes up or happens in the future that is super poignant to our discussion today. Okay, that was my answer to question number 1. Question number 2, can my business own AI-generated content? Is it even copyrightable? So to answer this question, it really depends on the specific circumstances of your business and the content that has been generated that you want to own and or copyright through the U.S. Copyright Office. So in general, businesses can own AI-generated content. 1, if they have a license agreement in place with the AI technology provider. Most of them do grant some type of like non-exclusive ownership rights. That's awesome, especially these free, more open AI technology programs that we're all starting to use nowadays. However, it's important to note that the copyrightability of AI-generated content is this gray area in the legal landscape. The U.S. Copyright Office actually just stated, like I said last week, that it will only register works created by a human author, which could exclude AI-generated content from copyright protection. However, this is an ongoing debate, and the Copyright Office is taking note. That's why they launched this massive office-wide initiative. They're starting to realize that there's this ongoing debate about this issue and the ownership of AI-generated content. And some legal experts believe that it should absolutely be eligible for copyright protection. But the U.S. Copyright Office is now putting parameters on that, and it's a balancing act. All in all, right now, the Copyright Office is saying, yes, it's possible for businesses to own AI-generated content, and it may be eligible for copyright protection, but it's all about the level of involvement of AI in creating the content. That is what the Copyright Office is going to be interpreting and considering. So to be eligible for copyright protection for an AI-generated work or a type of work that AI had a part in producing, you, as the human, have to create a substantial amount of the end result and kind of the final deliverable end work, which means AI can only really play a supportive or supplemental role. I like to think about it as this delicate balancing act. This is super like how lawyers interpret things, how judges interpret things. And this is like a 50-50 type of deal. I bet like the Copyright Office, they're going to be putting out more parameters, more regulations surrounding this. But right now, I think they're kind of tipping the favor into like a 2/3 majority. They haven't really said that, but they haven't even come out to say like it has to be just a majority that the human created that actual work for you to own it and for it to be copyrightable. They're just saying like AI can really only be a small part of it. If AI was a substantial part of it, you can't copyright it. They even have a case surrounding this comic book where the author, of course, compiled the comic book, wrote the comic book, and then tried to copyright it. However, the illustrations in that comic book were AI generated. And the Copyright Office drew a very, very bright line, which honestly, the law never really does. It's always, it depends, right? And so it was fascinating for the U.S. Copyright Office to explain their decision on this case regarding this specific comic book, because they said these illustrations in and of itself, even though the author, the human behind it, prompted this AI technology platform to create these illustrations, the whole of the illustrations was created by AI. So it's not copyrightable and you can't own it. But they were saying that the whole work itself and the compilation of it and the human behind the text and everything was able to be owned and copyrighted by this person. Like, what? So again, balancing act here. And you really need to know how to navigate these legal implications of owning and protecting AI-generated content for your business, which again is the entire reason I knew I had to dish out all of this information in this episode. Okay, next question. What are the main misconceptions that business owners have regarding AI? I love this question and I can't wait to answer it because I truly, truly think that this is why business owners aren't using AI to its full potential right now. And they might even be late to the game. It's going to hit them in a couple of years that they should have done this sooner. Here's some of the misconceptions and I'm going to answer them. Is AI technology even legitimate to use? It's so weird. Lots of people say it's just weird. I don't even know if I should be using it, if it's legitimate to use. Okay, first and foremost, it is legit. So many apps are out there. It's been tested and it's working. But to resolve the robotic nature of this AI-generated content, because there's no human behind it, it is just a robot. It is just an algorithm regurgitating a response to you using a bunch of publicly available information. I believe that you need to pay special attention to how much you need to change portions of the content that is given to you in a response. So there are some inefficiencies happening with AI. Those efficiencies are going to be cleared up. That's what these platforms are working on. You need to determine which avenues of AI are worthwhile for your business and what AI tools make the most sense for you. Just because it makes the most sense for another business doesn't mean it's going to make sense for you. Maybe you're incredibly efficient in that sector of your industry or specific task that you do daily or weekly. That wouldn't make sense. If you're super inefficient, don't use AI. You're already really good at it. It's an SOP in your business. But if you're floundering in other SOPs and workflows for your business, AI could definitely benefit you. Another main misconception is it's going to take away jobs for creatives. My answer here is potentially. I'm not going to beat around the bush, but a computer generating something versus a human doing it are two very different things, especially for creatives who are literal artists in what they do. AI should be really just used to supplement your content creation and any type of deliverables that you're giving to your clients and customers. And it's a really good tool for quality control and helping you revise, say, sentence structure or paragraph structure. It's honestly just better as a creative, in my perspective, to focus and spend your time on the most important things, like the client experience, getting people to book you, and marketing to the best of your abilities, learning and educating yourself about what's up and coming, how this can benefit your client, workflow. The current way of doing things, and I'm just going to put this out there, is honestly inefficient. So that is why AI is here. It's here to help us. You can literally go online and Google AI technology for designing a quote graphic, AI technology for putting together a step-by-step guide, AI technology for culling photos, AI technology for creating a photography timeline. There are so many apps out there. And my suggestion to you is to figure it out ASAP. It's not necessarily going to take away jobs for all creatives. It's all about how you can best utilize AI to maintain your business for the future. Another misconception, I'm a bad business owner for using it. I feel like I'm cheating. This is one that I believed in. And it's probably because I'm such a type A, AA person. And I've always been I don't want to cheat on things. I have to learn it. I have to produce that A++ on the exam. And I feel like if I were to use some type of robot or technology to help me with a task that I could certainly do myself, even though it might take me hours, for some reason, there is just this internal struggle about it feels like cheating. I have come around to that, and I really, really hope you do as well, because using AI technology certainly is not cheating in the business sense, and it does not make someone a bad business owner. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Many, many successful businesses, and I would say some of the most successful businesses probably in the next 1 to 2 years, are going to be using AI-generated content to save time, to save resources, while still producing high-quality content. AI technology is really simply a tool that can help your business become more efficient and effective in your marketing efforts. So as long as you're using it really, really legally and ethically, there's nothing wrong with utilizing this type of technology to grow your own business. And my plea here to you is I want you to know how important it is to keep an open mind and stay current with new technologies and trends in the industry. I want you to remain competitive in today's market. And if you want to, you need to know what AI is and how it can be useful for your business. All right, another misconception here. Clients will be mad if I use it. Okay, totally understandable to have concerns about how clients might react to the use of AI-generated content. But again, to be honest here, clients really just care more about getting their deliverables back and their whatever you're giving to them back as quickly as possible. It's important to keep in mind that the ultimate goal of really any business is to provide that high quality product or services to the clients. But if using AI generated content helps you achieve that goal more efficiently and more effectively, then it's worth considering for your clients. In fact, I bet many clients may not be even aware that AI technology is being used to create content. As long as the end result is still professional and meets their needs and the standards that you've placed regarding your services and deliverables, then I think it's 100% okay to use. And really, you just need to be transparent with your clients about the use of AI technology. You want to continue to prioritize the quality of your work, but there should be no reason for your clients to be upset or dissatisfied as long as ethically you're explaining to them and disclosing in your contracts and your website terms and conditions, which I'll get into later, how you're using AI content, or that it's even kind of a part of their client experience. Not to mention here, using AI-generated content can oftentimes be even more cost-effective to your clients. And clients, for sure, care about saving money. So by saving time and resources, you as a business can pass those cost savings on to your clients, and you can offer more competitive pricing. This can ultimately help your business attract and retain more clients and improve your bottom line. And I can tell you this much, if you just explain it to your clients that they are going to be saving money through this, if they're like, wait, what are you using with AI technology? Like, you've disclaimed this in your contract. All you got to do is say, this is what I use it for. This actually is a huge cost savings to you, and you're going to get this back way faster from me. They're going to be like, cool, I'm all about it. Thanks for researching this and being a business that's ahead of the game. All right, business owners, again, another misconception here, also assume that since the content is generated by a machine, that there's no legal implications or risks associated with using the AI-generated content. Business owners often believe that since they are not creating the content themselves, they're not responsible for any legal issues that may arise. This is definitely not necessarily the case, and there are plenty of legal considerations and risks associated with using AI-generated content, and that is something you're going to have to continue to educate your knowledge base on as a business owner. You're doing a great job by just starting by listening to this podcast episode. I can tell you that much. And again, don't just take this as this is, what is the be all end all into the future. It is going to change and evolve. As such, I will probably be putting out a ton more podcasts and blogs and YouTubes about the legalities of AI-generated content, as are other virtual lawyers. So just stay apprised of it yourself and do your due diligence with educating on the legalities and risks of AI. Another common legal misconception is that AI-generated content is entirely original, and therefore there's no need to worry about copyright or infringement issues. However, it's important to remember everything that the Copyright Office has been putting out, that it's a balancing act, and it's definitely not always, and in most cases, probably not an original work of authorship. And just be aware that AI models are trained on existing data. So there's absolutely still a risk of using copyrighted material without permission. That is what these algorithms are taking from the public sphere. And if that material was copyrighted, I mean, you could potentially plagiarize it. You could potentially completely infringe on that copyright protection. The list goes on. And this is really what the legal world is laser beam focused on right now. So stay tuned for what actually happens with case law and all of those types of things. Okay, now we've gone over the misconceptions, which leads me perfectly into my next question that I'm going to answer for you. Do I need a license from the AI platform to use the content that it generates for me? Simply put, yes. Copyright ownership issues are not the only thing that you need to take into consideration when using AI to create content, because licensing terms from AI programs are something everyone should be reading before publishing any AI content in commerce. This is what I am just going to be just screaming from the rooftops about, because nobody is really checking the back end of these AI programs. And this is what the law is actually going to be looking at when such things come up in different cases and the government starts looking at regulations. So for me, I always go to what are the terms and conditions on this? So my legal team and I looked, and most AI platforms give users a very, very broad, non-exclusive license to use AI-generated content. That totally makes sense. They're trying to cover their butts. They also have disclaimers, all kinds of triangles with exclamation points in them about this. It could be, there could be bias in our responses. It could be, negative. There might be misconceptions. This is why they're just giving you this huge, broad license to use. They honestly, they can't control if it's being used or not used in commerce. So they're just giving you the license to do it. So for instance, OpenAI's licensing terms, that's OpenAI ChatGPT, give non-exclusive rights to use the AI-generated text that they produce for uses, including commercial uses, as do other platforms like Simplified. However, some platforms may give you the right to use a non-exclusive license in exchange for either giving them some credit or other type of monetary contribution to their AI software. That means you probably have to pay to use the license. And usually these are small monthly fees. The legal licensing lesson here, look at the licensing terms and conditions before you use that platform and before you publish any AI-generated content that supplemented your work on your website or commercially posting that content online. Again, most platforms give you that non-exclusive license to use. I haven't really seen any type of foul play here in the AI world. They're going to let you use it. It's just a matter of if it's free or if you have to pay. And again, I'll let you know if this changes in the future. All right, another question. What do I absolutely need to know regarding the legalities of using AI? I'm so glad we got to this point in the episode. Hopefully your wheels are turning here. And what happened with the U.S. Copyright Office is really this turning point I foresee in the legal world. My happiness as a online virtual creative lawyer is at its peak right now, because it's so important for disclosure purposes and ethical purposes and risk-averse purposes for you to disclose when you're using AI. And that's ultimately what the Copyright Office wants you to do. And there's no specific laws saying you absolutely need to do this. That hasn't happened yet. I definitely think it's coming. So be proactive here. When you use AI toward any commercial endeavor, My legal suggestion is that you absolutely should let consumers and the public know that AI contributed in some way, shape, or form, or at least supplemented it. Otherwise, truly, I believe you could be at risk of any type of online company claiming copyright infringement or consumers claiming misrepresentation. I can't even imagine what consumer protection laws are going to come out of this, or regulations in place, or at least disclosure, FTC regulations, things along those lines. So these types of disclaimers and notice requirements, like I said, are coming from the highest government offices right now, like the U.S. Copyright Office. I've got laser beam focus on what's going to happen probably in the coming year. But the legal world is slow. The AI world is really fast. So again, we're going to be behind the times. I try to stay ahead of the times here at the Legal Page. And so our legal team and I really suggest two big key things for you to make sure that you are understanding the risks of using AI-generated content and disclosing the risks appropriately. These are really, honestly, kind of passive ways to do it without you having to freak out. First, I think you need to put a disclaimer on your website terms and conditions that you're utilizing AI to create any type of content that you're posting on your website. This means if you use AI to write the copy on your website, write blog posts, create stock images, rewrite a bio, help you with titles, et cetera, maybe hooks, initial paragraphs, SEO, benefits to blog posts, AI can do all of this, my friends, all of it. And if you are doing that, you should be disclosing that to your users. And you should be disclosing that to disclaim any liability as well. So this is just a clause on your website. The good news is the Legal Page has it, and you can get it at thelegalpage.com. And it's an a la carte clause, and you just copy and paste it, boom, put it into your website terms and conditions, and you're done. And you're going to feel so much better being proactive about the legalities surrounding AI. It's also probably going to put your mind at ease that you've at least explained that you are using AI. If you have that mentality that it's cheating or business owners shouldn't do it, or it's going to negatively impact your business, all of that can hopefully be dispelled a little bit when you are saying, I use it and it's okay. And this is how I'm using it. So put that disclaimer on your website. Number 2 is, how do you disclose this to clients? Especially if you're utilizing AI in any way for the services that you're providing. No longer are you really like subcontracting out to another human. There's, work made for hire situations. There's work product control, so on and so forth. You're literally utilizing a robot. So say if you use ChatGPT to help write social media captions for your social media clients, you'll want to disclose that. If you're a copywriter who uses AI to help supplement your title ideas or hooks, you'll want to disclose that. If you're a photographer and you're using AI for culling purposes or for batch editing purposes, but then you go back and, of course, have some quality control and review those edits, I think it would be best to disclose that. Again, I've already explained to you, clients aren't going to care if you just have the simple answer to them. You're going to get it back faster and it's going to be cheaper. They're going to be like, sweet, sounds good. This is also the most ethical way, in my opinion, to approach the use of AI right now because of consumer unawareness of AI. Until it becomes more mainstream in society, it's important for you to be proactive in educating your clients and customers on really how AI is playing a role in your business and really just helping you be more efficient. This clause is also available at thelegalpage.com. So you can definitely get it there. We have one for photographers and videographers because really you're using AI in that respect in industry for a very specific purpose. And so we drafted it as such. And then we also have one for the general service providers that I've explained here, like social media managers, copywriters, graphic designers, so on and so forth. Last question. Where does AI go from here? I have some great resources at thelegalpage.com on just getting your base knowledge in place. And I would say get on our email list because we're going to be dishing out all kinds of new information as quickly as possible when it becomes known and available to the public. Honestly, AI, the sky is the limit. It's going to explode. If you're not on the bandwagon now, I really, really hope you do become part of the bandwagon soon, because the more mainstream it is to use in everyday usage, the more that you're behind the times. Here's a quote I want to leave you with this episode. It's not just nice to learn. AI is basically a necessity to know. You need to learn how to implement and use AI strategically as a business owner in order to survive. All right, my friends, all in all, AI is a rapidly evolving field that's constantly advancing and improving. And in the coming years, as I've mentioned many times in this episode, we can expect to see even more sophisticated AI technology being developed with applications in a wide range of industries. For small business owners like yourself, this could mean even more opportunities to streamline your operations and improve the quality of your products and services. And as that AI continues to evolve, become more sophisticated, it's likely, again, that it's going to be increasingly commonplace for the everyday person. Just as people were initially confused or had apprehension around the use of microwaves in their home, there's, again, still going to be that confusion and apprehension around this first usage of AI-generated content in everyday life and business life. However, as more people become more familiar with the technology and applications, and they become even better, they use your brand tone, they use your brand voice, they're legit is the best word I can use here. The more legit they become, my prediction is that AI will become an accepted part of everyday business life. As with any new technology, though, education and awareness is key to helping you understand the benefits and potential risks associated with AI. And I want you to know that it's important to use it 3 ways: responsibly, legally, and ethically as a business owner. I am your friendly online business attorney, and I will strive to do just that with any additional content I put out surrounding the legalities of AI. So stay tuned on this podcast for future legal updates surrounding AI, and follow along with me on social media at The Legal Paige, Paige, and check out our blog on this topic at thelegalpage.com. And don't forget that as small business owners, it's important to ensure that you're using AI-generated content in a legal way. This means being transparent with your customers and clients about the use of AI in your operations. So to do this, we here at TLP recommend putting a disclaimer within your website terms and conditions if you're using AI to create or supplement any type of content you're posting on your website. This clause should clearly disclose to your users that you're using AI-generated content such as copy, images, blog posts, etc. on your website. By doing so, you can help build trust with your website users and potential customers. And it also just helps ensure that you're being proactive to comply with upcoming relevant laws and regulations as well as current ones. That is an easy copy and paste, boom, put into your website terms and conditions, which should be listed on the bottom footer of your website. And again, we have this clause at thelegalpage.com that you can purchase today. Additionally, we recommend putting a clause in your client contract if you're utilizing AI in any way for the services that you're providing. Again, this clause is just a disclosure and limiting your liability surrounding AI-generated content. By being upfront and transparent with your clients, it's going to help foster a more positive and ethical relationship with your clients altogether. You can also get these clauses at thelegalpage.com, and we've made them specific to your industry. It's a la carte clauses, copy and paste into your existing client contract. Boom, you are 100% legally legit there. Overall, these clauses are just a small investment that can have a big impact on your business's reputation and legal compliance. I recommend purchasing and implementing them onto your website and client contracts as soon as possible. And of course, you can find them at thelegalpage.com. That's thelegalpaige.com. I hope you found this episode really fruitful and educational. If you have any additional questions or concerns, you can always follow me on social media and we can have a healthy conversation in DMs or in captions, and or you can join our private Facebook group for thousands of small business owners that are in there, and we can all talk about it together. We already have massive discussions happening, so come join us. To easily find this group, all you need to do is go onto Facebook and type in the Legal Paige community and request to join. Hope to see you in there. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Legal Paige podcast. See, I told you being legally legit isn't so scary. Be sure to visit thelegalpage.com for all show notes. And it would be super awesome if you could head over to iTunes and leave a review. Last but not least, don't forget to join my free Facebook group for unlimited legal and biz Q&A. Chat soon, Legal Pagers.